never pick up your things. How many times do I have to ask you? I'm just the maid around this place. When you were little, did you see your caregivers express their anger in really healthy, productive ways? Or was it a little bit more like this? Or this? Or maybe this? If this was your experience, chances are that this is your default setting for expressing anger in your family. So, how do we learn to express anger in a healthy way? Well, first of all, we need to get clear about stimulus versus cause. We often say, "You made me so angry." The other person might have stimulated or triggered our anger, but the truth is, the anger comes from what's inside of us. The trigger is just the little thing that ignites all that ammunition that's in us. So we can see this when the exact same thing might happen to one person and it doesn't rattle them at all, but it happens to you and you absolutely explode. So it's not the thing that's happened, it's not out there, it's in here. So when we go to blame, it's your fault I'm angry, we're actually giving away our power. So this can lead to feelings of helplessness, powerlessness, and a lot of resentment. And these are never very good ingredients for any relationship. Where does anger come from? So anger always flares up when there's a need that's gone unmet, often for a really long time, or there's something that we value that has been dishonored. So it's not the other person's job to know what our needs are, to know what our values are, and make sure that they're coming and getting those met for us. That's on us. And surely we want our kids to grow up knowing that they can ask for and get what they need. The best way they're going to be able to learn this is through us as the model. So when we can get curious about the anger that's flaring up, the thought patterns that are going on, the needs that are at play, all the stuff that's inside of us that's being triggered when we feel angry, we're actually empowering ourselves. And we're opening up the possibility to be able to act and communicate in a way that's more likely to get our needs met. And that's going to be a lot more pleasant for us and for everybody around us. So think about the primary objective when it comes to relating to those people in your life that are most important to you. Is it to get other people to do what you want them to do? That sounds a bit like control. Or is your primary objective with the people that are most important to you to relate to them with mutual respect, with trust, with empathy, so that you're building a relationship that is really solid and really healthy? We need to learn to communicate honestly and to have empathy for the people we're communicating with, to find out what it is that's going on for them. If possible, it's always best to go to empathy first, because when you've been empathized with, when someone's heard you and really understood you, you're a lot more likely to be able to listen to them. But if you're really wound up, you might really need to express what's going on for you first. Hopefully, you've got some tricks up your sleeve that help you to calm down and to get into a less stressful place before you're going into a conversation with this. If this is something you need help with, check out the link below. I have got a free guide for you to find and keep your calm with your kids. Now, there's something called non-violent communication, which was invented by a guy called Marshall Rosenberg. You can check this out all over the internet. There's loads of resources available, but he has this really beautiful, simple framework for teaching us how to communicate with honesty and how to give empathy to other people. And it is 4 parts. The first part is an observation, a neutral observation that's free from judgment, labels, criticism, blame, all the stuff we might go to when we're angry. The next part is expressing our feelings. So in this case, we're talking about anger. The next part is expressing our needs. So we've got to get clear on that. And the final part, number 4, is making a request. So an example, if you're like me, you might get really triggered by mess in the house at a certain point. I live with a husband and 2 boys, so mess is a big thing. An example of this way of expressing anger might go like this. We start with a neutral observation. Hey, I noticed you left all of your clothes on the floor of the bathroom last night. Feelings. I feel pretty angry when I see that happening often. Need, because order in our house, tidiness in our house, it's really important to me. Number 4, request. Would you be willing to really make an effort to put your clothes in the laundry basket at night before you go to bed? And you might even go one step further if your kids are younger. Is there anything I could do to help you remember this? So it's a really supportive attitude. So do you see how that way of communicating what's upset us, what's made us angry, is a lot more productive than going into, you never pick up your things. How many times do I have to ask you? I'm just the maid around this place. Believe me, I've said those things, so you're not alone if you have too. So in summary, if we're wanting to express our anger in a way that it can be heard by the other person, in a way that communicates what's going on for us, and in a way that's likely for us to get the needs met that are causing the anger first, we need to be able to ask for what we want and need, rather than blaming, shaming, criticizing the other person for doing what we don't want them to do. I hope this has been really helpful for you. I'd love you to comment below if you've got anything to say about this. I'd also love you to click the subscribe button, which is going to be there shortly at the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.